Welcome back to DSR, and we just got a new UA that dropped it like 10 minutes ago. So this is very exciting. We've been waiting. When's the last time we got this? The very beginning of February. So 2 months. So been a long time. Feels like forever. We've been waiting for this. All right, this one's going to contain Cleric Pestilence Domain, Druid Circle of the Titan, Fighter Hell Knight, and Sorcerer Demonic Sorcery. Okay, exciting. I don't think we've seen any of these before, so this is going to be interesting. There's their standard content warning about feedback and adjusting power levels and whatnot. I will be doing my usual unionized feedback for these UAs. So I'll probably do two more. It seems like the right sweet spot for each one of these subclasses, where I try to consolidate everybody's feedback on how to revise and improve these. And then I repost it, see what everybody, and then I post the video with the revisions, see what everybody thinks. And then I'll do one more. And by that second one, we usually end up with a pretty good refined version of the subclass, and then the idea is that we then all use that, or as much of that as we all align with, each of us aligns with, use it as our feedback in the survey, which will then amplify our voice in the survey so that they get the same kind of feedback from hundreds or thousands of people instead of like hundreds and thousands of different responses that just gets lost in the noise. Okay. Hell Knight, fighter subclass. Inflict hellish wounds and damn enemies. Hell Knights are the champions of archdevils and other high-ranking fiends of the Nine Hells, such as Cambions and Night Hags. Armed with the techniques of the Nine Hells' fiercest warriors, Hell Knights inflict infernal wounds and fight with the tenacity of a devil. Devils and other sinister figures employ Hell Knights to enact their will across the multiverse. A Hell Knight might serve as a soldier on the front lines of the Blood War, while another might be tasked with punishing creatures that violate infernal contracts or flee their consequences. Others act as interplanar bounty hunters, hastening the journey of the wicked souls to the river Styx. Hell Knight's relationship with the Nine Hells is transactional. Archdevils see Hell Knights as an investment, and Hell Knights benefit in turn. The Hell Knight Pursuits table lists reasons why a fighter might become a Hell Knight. So first option, desired treasures only the Nine Hells could grant you, hungered for power beyond mortal bounds, made a wager with the devil and lost, sacrificed your soul to spare someone else's, sought vengeance on an adversary who wronged you deeply, were fooled by fine print in an infernal contract. All right, so this is great flavor and basically the same as an Illrigger, that class that we got from Matthew Colville, although I haven't read that one in detail. I just know that's basically the same flavor. Level 3, Diabolical Gift. As a soldier for the Agents of the Nine Hells, you've been given fiendish powers. You gain the following benefits. Devil's Sight. You can see normally in dim light and darkness, both magical and non-magical, within 120 feet of yourself. Okay, that's the feature right off of the Warlock's Eldritch Invocation, which is fine. I mean, a Warlock can get that at level 1, so this is okay. Devil's Tongue, you know Infernal, the language of devils. If you already know Infernal, you learn another language of your choice. That's a fun little ribbon. That's fine. Also at level 3, Hellfire Weapon. When you take the attack action, you can imbue one of the weapons you are holding with Hellfire, transforming it into a Hellfire weapon. It remains transformed in this way for 10 minutes or until you use this feature again, you die, or the weapon is more than 5 feet away from you, or for 1 minute or more. You can also end this effect early, no action required. It only remains transformed for 10 minutes, okay? While transformed into a Hellfire weapon, a weapon emits dim light from a 5-foot emanation, and whenever you deal damage to that weapon, it can deal your choice of fire or its normal damage type. Okay, so that's a little kind of ribbony. I assume we're going to build on it later. Your Hellfire weapon can also inflict infernal wounds. Here we go. Infernal wound die. You have one infernal wound die, which is a D6. Inflicting infernal wounds. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with your Hellfire weapon, you can deal extra fire damage equal to one roll of your infernal wound die and give the target an infernal wound once per turn. So it's once per turn, not on your turn. So that if you get a reaction attack, you can do this twice in a round. While wounded in this way, the target takes fire damage equal to one roll of your infernal wound die at the start of each of your turns. This effect lasts for 1 minute until the target regains hit points, or until the target or other creatures within 5 feet of the target take an action to stanch the wound. A target can be affected by only one instance of this feature at a time. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier. You regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. Okay, so we do have limited use, but it's Constitution modifier number of uses, which we already want to build on, so that's fine, per short or long rest, so that's pretty cool. So right now it'd be 3 times per short rest, growing up to maybe 5 times per short rest. And fighters do get 2 extra feats, so it's not nearly as hard for you to max out your strength and your constitution as anyone else, or your dexterity and your constitution. So it only does extra damage when you use this effect. That's okay. That's not too bad. And you're going to be able to do this fairly frequently. About not quite as much as what a battle master, number of superiority dice that a battle master gets, but pretty close. You only essentially have one maneuver, which is to do extra damage, which is okay. Hopefully, we continue to build on this and make it more interesting. I mean, give you more options with it, because I mean, it's cool to do damage, but being able to do multiple things than just damage is better. Level 7 advanced weapons. When you roll your infernal wound die and roll a 6, you can apply one of the following effects. We have a 16% chance to drop one of these other effects on it whenever we roll a 6 on any time we're rolling the infernal wound die, and we count as rolling the infernal wound die on that once per turn hit, and when they take the recurring damage. Okay, so putting this on multiple creatures and having those all running increases the chance that we're going to get these happening one or more times per round. So first option, Purulence of Minaros. Caustic pus erupts from the wound. Each creature in a 5-foot emanation originating from the target takes acid damage equal to your Constitution modifier, and the target has the poison condition until the start of its next turn. That's going to be a problem in that it's friendly fire. So if you do this on a creature on the front lines, then you're going to be causing your allies to take damage as well. Yeah. And then the target is poisoned. Okay, so decent control effect. Rupture of Cania. The wound ruptures with a spurt of arcane energy. The target takes force damage equal to your Constitution modifier. So I guess you do that if they're on the front line. And then the target just takes additional damage. Although it's, this one does damage. Yeah, this one does damage equal to your Constitution modifier of acid. This one only does damage equal to force damage equal to your Constitution modifier. So they're the same damage, but this one does damage in an AoE, and this one does damage only to the target. Seems like this one needs a little something more so that they're all on equal footing. And then Stygian Gangrene. Infernal Rime spreads out from the wound. The target takes cold damage equal to your Constitution modifier, and it can't take reactions until the start of your next turn. Okay, so they all do the exact same amount of damage. This one's just acid, this one's force, and this one's cold. This one has an additional rider effect that they don't get reactions. This one has the additional effect of the 5-foot emanation and causes the poison condition. This one has no additional effect. Yeah, Rupture of Cania needs something more. And these are not options. You don't get to choose these when you hit. You get to choose only when you roll a 6 on the infernal wound die, which potentially you could be rolling many times in a round. You just got to make sure you're paying attention. Okay, but also at level 7, Hellforged Equipment. Your armor and weapons embody infernal armaments forged in the fires of Avernus, granting you the following benefits. Fire resistance while wearing armor or wielding a shield. You have resistance to fire damage. Okay, sweet. Even a ranged, dexterity-based fighter is going to wear at least studded leather armor, which is armor, and so you're going to have this fire resistance. It might as well have just said you have fire resistance all the time. Like, when are you not going to wear any armor? Unholy Fire. Damage from your weapon attacks and fighter features ignores resistance to fire damage. Okay, cool. Level 10, Hellfire Surge. When you use your action surge while wearing armor or wielding a shield, you can superheat your equipment, causing it to erupt with hellfire in a 10-foot emanation originating from you. Each creature of your choice, there we go, no friendly fire, in the emanation must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, DC based on your Constitution modifier. On a failed save, a target takes fire damage equal to one roll of your infernal wound die and is burning. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage. So burning is that burning hazard in the player's handbook that deals 1d4 fire damage at the start of each of their turns. And this is another roll of your infernal wound die that might trigger your level 7 options. Okay, that's interesting and cool. I like it. They just need to take that, each creature of your choice clause and add it to your level 7 feature as well. Level 15, Blisters of Avernus. Your Hellfire leaves painful, boiling blisters. When you roll a 6 on your infernal wound die, you can roll another d6 and add it to the damage. The maximum number of d6s you can add to the infernal wounds damage on a turn is 3. So you have exploding d6s now. That seems so it's a 16% chance of another 3.5 damage, and like a 3% chance of doing all 3 d6s. I guess you would add that many. I mean, that's gonna, on average, total out to be like probably less than 1 DPR per target. So that level 15 feature, while cool in theory, is not very good. Yeah, is not very good. The thing I would add to it is if you roll a 6, then you get a well, I don't know. I'd have to think about it some more. That one's pretty weak, that level 15 feature. But we've had a lot of strong features all the way up until this point. So the only reason that's bad, like overall, you're going to be feel fine in power. The reason that's bad is you slogged all the way from level 10 to 15, finally got this to level 15. You're going to feel like this is all I got. I mean, it'd take you weeks to get from level 14 to 15, and feeling like you got a feature that barely does anything and has a fairly high level of complexity. Like there's going to be a lot of like re-rolling and, oh yeah, I got to roll again and roll that. Wait, how many times can I roll? Oh yeah, total of 3. So there's a fair amount of complexity and gameplay bogging down going on here for a very minor effect. That's unfortunate. All right, level 18, and we get 2 features. Level 18, Hellfire Condemnation. Whenever damage from your Hellfire weapon or Infernal Wound reduces a creature to 0 hit points, the creature dies and its soul rises from the river Styx as a lemure in a layer of the 9 hells of your choice in 1d4 hours. If the creature isn't revived before then, only a wish spell can return the creature to life. Okay, that's funny, but that's a super ribbon, right? As far as player character is concerned, dead is dead. You don't care where their soul goes after they die, right? Like it's super super rare that that's going to matter. Um, yeah, that's super rare. Okay, level 18, Infernal Bargain. When you roll your Infernal Wound die, you can treat a roll of a 1 as a 6 also. Okay, so we just doubled our chances of getting those options that we got from level 7, which I like. I don't know if that's good enough to be your capstone. That's a nice feature. Your Hellfire Condemnation needs to be more of something. That's just not enough for a level 18 feature. So our level 15 and 18 features are a bit of a letdown at this point. They need fixing up so that it's not disappointing. But like I said about level 15, I think you have so many powerful features already at this point that you're not going to feel underpowered. You're just going to be disappointed. It's going to be feel bad moments when you reach those levels because you're going to feel disappointed, like I didn't get very much. But overall, you're going to do fine in combat. And the fighter base class is really good in 5.5. So it's not like you're going to feel weak compared to your allies. Those are just going to be, feel bad moments. Okay, that's it for this one. Remember to leave your comments on how you think this should be changed to make it better balanced though too. Remember, don't just like add power to infinity, right? It needs to be balanced, or that doesn't work. It's bad for the game. Okay, so add your comments for what you think this needs to be better balanced at every level. If you don't have a D&D in your life, check the video description. You can find a link to join my Discord, and you can also find a link to find me on Start Playing Games if you want to play. Remember to be cool when you play D&D, because this is a game, and the only point of it is to have fun with your friends, right? So please be cool. All right, catch you next time.